Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News, Monday, March 4th, 2024. Stand up for your country. So big news today. Supreme Court overruled Colorado and Maine, forbidding those states from removing Donald Trump's name from the presidential ballot. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. So the left hates Trump, and it's going to use every mechanism it can to try to destroy the man. And I mean that literally. They'd like to see him dead. They would. It's just that level of hatred is, I've seen it before. I've seen it on the right, too. But now it dominates the progressive left. So last year, Colorado and Maine said, we're not going to put Donald Trump's name on a presidential ballot against Joe Biden because Trump led the insurrection on January 6th. Okay. So that was, number one, a denial of Donald Trump's due process. He's not been convicted of insurrection, nor has he been charged. Okay. The special counsel, Smith, is basically saying there was a conspiracy to invade the Capitol and Trump was involved. It's all bull, and it probably won't get anywhere. But anyway, this one is the ballot question. So Colorado actually went through a process where it's very, very left-wing courts say, yeah. We don't need due process here in Colorado. No, we'll just take them off. And then in Maine, it was one woman. I'll get to her in a moment. And they said, this woman, she's not going to be back. Now, in January, on the 9th, that was 2 months ago, right? Here's what I said. Go. The Supreme Court is going to overturn Colorado and Maine. So to talk about it as a reality that Trump's going to be denied the ballot spot is a waste of time. That's why we don't do it here. Now, I'm not a genius. I've said that before. If you know the Constitution, the Supreme Court couldn't possibly uphold those rulings. And they ruled 9-0. It was a unanimous ruling. Now, it should embarrass Colorado and Maine, but it won't. I mean, those cranks, they don't care. They just throw anything they can at Trump. So, but when you get a 9-0 ruling, you should have, in Maine, an impeachment of the Secretary of State, Shayna Bellows. She should be impeached tomorrow by the Maine legislature. That's embarrassing. Your state has been thoroughly humiliated by one woman, the Secretary of State, Shayna Bellows. Colorado, I don't know what you do. Send all the people from California who moved to Colorado back to California, maybe. I don't know if you could deport them under the Constitution, though. So we always knew this was a bunch of bull, which is why you watch and listen to me rather than watch the national news presentations on cable and network, because those people, number one, aren't smart enough to know what the Constitution says, most of them. They have no blanket idea what the Constitution says, all right? And number two, even if they did, they're not going to say anything that goes against their corporate masters. Now, I'm going to give you the best example I can possibly give you. NBC News, the absolute worst. They're worse than ABC and CBS by a long shot. They run MSNBC, the cable operation. Here's what two of their pundits on MSNBC said about the ballot stuff. Go.
They have what they need to make the ruling, and there's nothing anti-democratic about saying insurrectionists need not apply, and it's in the Constitution.
Colorado trial court found as a matter of fact, after a trial on the merits, a trial at which several witnesses testified, expert witnesses, witnesses who were at the Capitol that day, found as a matter of fact that Donald Trump engaged in an insurrection.
That's just a lie. Okay? There was no defense put up in Colorado. Trump's people didn't have any access to go in and talk to the courts there. There wasn't any trial. A trial, you have a defense. All this was we don't want him on a ballot. We're going to bring everybody who agrees with us in to Denver. That's what happened. That guy's name is Glenn Kirshner. He's a former prosecutor, whatever that means. The first guy, former U.S. Attorney Harry Litman, he says there's nothing anti-democratic about saying insurrectionists need not apply. Well, who's the insurrectionist? He hasn't been charged with that. Now, these guys get paid to spout this propaganda. If they were to come on and say, hey, there's nothing to this and the court's going to rule 9-0 and throw it out like I did, they wouldn't have a job at NBC. They never get on the air. You see how corrupt this is? These are mouthpieces. And this is all my opinion. Okay? I don't think I'm wrong. All right. Now, where do we go from here? So the Supreme Court understands, even the liberal judges. Remember, Sotomayor, Kagan, Brown, they all said, look, the individual states cannot interfere with a national vote. You can't just do what you want. And doesn't that make sense? A fifth grader would get it. Federal government, okay, has the responsibility in the executive branch. That's not a state thing. Executive branch is the presidency, okay? The legislative branch is Congress. The judicial branch is the courts, the federal court. The states can't intrude on that. I'm sitting there going, these people have no blanket idea about the Constitution or how our country is structured. Federal law trumps state law. So yes, you can legalize marijuana, and 24 states have. But if the DEA makes a case against somebody smuggling marijuana from Mexico into the USA, they'll bust that person no matter what state he or she is in. And the state can't do anything about it. You could apply that to immigration law too. And the left is doing that because they don't want Texas to put up its own barriers. So here's the hypocrisy of this whole thing. The progressive left supports, okay, states taking Trump's name off the ballot. However, when the Supreme Court kicks Roe v. Wade abortion back to the states to decide in each of the 50 what will happen, what the law will be, progressive left doesn't want that. Oh, no. No, we can't have that. Can't have the states making its own decision about abortion, but we can have the states make their own decision about Trump on the ballot. Come on. It's unbelievable. And that's a memo. All right, Joe Biden's got a 3-day weekend or 4-day weekend. I've lost track. He's at Camp David. He's not even in Washington today. And I'll tell you what he's doing in Camp David. I have developed a pretty good source now on the Biden front. It took me 3 years to do it. They're panicking now in the White House because of the polls. And I'm going to give you the polls in a moment. They're panicking because it's going south fast. And the State of the Union are coming up on Thursday. If Biden can't get through that, if he can't read the prompter, okay, I wrote this on the message of the day on BillO'Reilly.com, which I hope you all go and read every morning. He's through. He's got to get through that State of the Union. And they're not sure whether he can or not. He can still read the prompter, but he gets lost. And he doesn't really know what he's saying. So that's big on Thursday night. And I'm going to have more about that later on this week. Okay, so in the meantime, Kamala Harris stepped up to talk about Gaza. Roll that.
The immense scale of suffering in Gaza, there must be an immediate ceasefire. For at least the next 6 weeks, which is what is currently on the table.
All right, well, you can agree or disagree with the vice president, but she has no authority to say anything. And of course, Israel's not listening to her. I applaud the USA and other countries for dropping humanitarian supplies to Gaza, by the way. I think that's excellent. they're airlifting supplies. You can't land, and no airstrips to land on, but they're parachuting supplies down. That is what should happen. Behind the scenes, if I were president, I would basically tell Netanyahu, look, the time for mass destruction is over now. We will help you pinpoint where these Hamas leaders are. Our intelligence agencies will work with you, Mossad, to track them down. But the time of bombing and destroying everything, that's over. Major statement, and you were justified in doing it. But now we have to shift into phase 2, which is a methodical track down. That's what I would do. Not insult the Israeli government by going, you have to cease fire for 6 months or what. I mean, 6 weeks, I think she said. She doesn't know what she's saying. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Let's go to the mail. We have David. President Trump is by far his own worst enemy, says David. As Bill has said, he should be imitating Joe Friday. How many of you know who Joe Friday is? The program Dragnet. Just the facts, man. All right, that's the reference. Just stick to the facts. Okay. Grace, concierge member. Hope you check that out. Insurance policy for your life. We will help you if you get into trouble. BillO'Reilly.com, concierge member. Grace says, I enjoy Trump's remarks. I appreciate where he comes from and what he is doing. Okay. Laura, I'm tired of age discrimination being invoked on the current president. It's not about his age. It's about his cognitive ability to run the nation and serve another 4 term. All right, but the odds of you getting a cognitive problem go up with your age. So I'm not sure that's age discrimination. Frank Seda, Savannah, Tennessee. Bill, your Sunday message struck a chord with me as a conflicted voter. You're reminded to vote for the candidate or party that most clearly aligns with your values is sound advice. That's my column, not the message. It's the difference. The message of the day is a short essay, every day posted in the morning. The weekly column is longer. And I basically said, look, it's really at this point in history not about Donald Trump or Joe Biden. It's about you voting for what kind of country you want. And these guys are short timers. Bobby McGinnis, Santa Barbara, California. Bill, I think the reason Biden will be on the ballot as a Democratic presidential candidate in November is that he's in a position to pardon his son, Hunter. He can pardon his son, Hunter, today, Bobby. He doesn't wait for reelection. He can pardon his son anytime he wants. The president has that power. Wendy Tayek, Mesa, Arizona. Even though the Senate would not vote to impeach Joe Biden, why doesn't the House impeach him on his failure to protect Americans on the border? Because it would work against the Republican Party to do that at this point. They'd be put in the same category as Nancy Pelosi impeachment for the Democrats. Everybody knows, Wendy. Now we have to make our decision in November. We don't need another impeachment. Emilio Diadio, Sherrills Ford, North Carolina. Mr. O, I'm a retired NYPD detective. I've been watching you since The Factor started on Fox. I just want to say thank you and God bless. Well, that's nice, Detective. I appreciate that from one of the rank and file. I hope you're enjoying yourself down in North Carolina. A lot calmer down there, as you know. Diane Richter. Now, Diane did not, yes, she did. Vancouver, Canada. My husband and I watch the No Spin News every night. We have purchased all 13 killing books. What order should we read them? Okay. Now, I've answered this before. I'm only going to do it one more time now, because I just can't answer it. And I understand you guys can't watch every show. I got it. But Diane was nice to buy all 13 killing books. That's very nice. So you begin with Killing the Witches, because that's the Mayflower, and that starts the process of America. Then you go to Killing England, because that's the revolution where we got our freedom in the founding fathers. Then you go to Killing Lincoln, because that's the Civil War where everything changed in this country. Now, after that, it's up to you what topics you're interested in. We have 2 books on World War II. We've got assassination of Kennedy. We've got the mob. We've got the terrorism book on the killers. It's up to you. But those 3, Witches first, England second, and Lincoln third, get you right up almost to modern times. Now, Confronting the Presidents, No Spin Assessments from Washington to Biden is out September 10th. This is the most comprehensive history book I have ever written. It's the longest book. I don't think it's boring. It's done. We're now in the editing process, and, publisher put it together and all that. September 10th, it's out. This book takes you from Washington's first day in office all the way to Biden. Every president, all 45 of them, whether they're good or were they bad for the country. This is going to be a blockbuster. And it fills in everything that we didn't write about in the 13 killing books. Every president, to me, is fascinating. Even like Millard Fillmore, Chester Arthur, these people, who are these people? We found stuff. So anyway, that book is out September 10th. Pre-order BillO'Reilly.com. We will not bill you until we send the book to you. You will get it first. Let's see. Do we have any other mail? Oh, here's a good one. Katie Tesmer, Metamora, Michigan. Bill, I received my free copy of Witches as part of renewing my membership to BillO'Reilly.com and started reading it at night while in bed. But then I frantically had to wake up my husband tell him what was going on. So now I'm reading during the day. I don't know if Killing the Witches, I can handle that, reading it in bed, but it's a little spooky, particularly the exorcism part. So I'm glad you're liking it. I hope you're liking it. I know your husband's probably annoyed, Katie. All right, word of the day, no balderdash, BALDERDASH, no balderdash. Writing to me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town. If you wish to opine, write back with Nikki Haley in the final thought. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank No Spin News viewers for the continued support and to say thanks. They're offering 50% off their best prices on overstock, clearance, and even new products. Right now, get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0, their brand new flannel sheets, or their 6-pack towel sets. They offer free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers that are 100% made in the USA. Everything is on sale. Kitchen towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and much more. So please go to mypillow.com, use the promo code BILL, or call 800-869-0298 for free shipping on your entire order. That's 800-869-0298, or go to mypillow.com, promo code BILL. Okay, so tomorrow is Super Tuesday. This is the final thought on Monday. I don't know what to say about it other than what I wrote in the message of the day, which is not really Super Tuesday. It's kind of dubious. We all know what's going to happen Tuesday. Or maybe it's Ruby Tuesday if the Rolling Stones will allow it. After Nikki Haley gets waxed everywhere, what will she do? I think she's going to pack it in and endorse Trump. Eye is on 28 for her. It's not worth it for her to stay in anymore. She's spending money on a hopeless cause. She'll become kind of a joke if she stays in. Think she's going to get out? I think you're going to go, I don't really like him, but I'm going to support Trump because I'm a loyal Republican or something like that. That is my prediction. We will see. I was right about the Supreme Court on the ballot. Come on, give me props. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you tomorrow.